I don't know if this is working, but we're going to try. Anyway. So basically, here we go. Here's how we do it. Josie! How you going? We're phone banking. We're phone banking. So, the main goal of the call is to ask if they want to help out with the campaign at all. If they say, sorry, I don't have time to talk, or they don't have time to help with the campaign, say that's not a problem at all. We really just hope that you would, missed you too, Jazzy, Void. Really hope you just consider voting for Tamara at the upcoming federal election. That's it. So, really, really, really simple. And if they say, well, why should I vote for Tamara? Then you can just basically let them know, Tamara's believes that solutions could come from community. Tamara's community, very community focused and community led and all the good stuff that, the thing is, I don't know. I feel like there should be enough on the Fusion website in terms of like policy that is, or the Australia Progressives website about policy that is led by experts and led by data rather than the changing tides of whims of people, and whatever's popular at the time. Like, playing like hooky with tariffs because, I don't know what he's doing is playing games with the stock market. Either way, Jesse, missed you too. So, oh my gosh, it's been out nearly a year. Holy shit. If I do know 20, it's because you've introduced me to 19. Oh God, Lily, you're a jag. What party are you running with? I'm running with the Fusion Party, Antonio. I'm running with the Fusion Party. Uh-huh. Oh my gosh. And I cannot stop. Honestly, I'm starving. I just keep like, oh my gosh. Fusion Party does sound interesting. The main thing for me is just about focusing on expert-led policy rather than nonsense that. Because, for example, if we want to tackle things like crime, the experts are really clear on what's going to tackle crime. And it doesn't matter that it's not popular. It doesn't matter that politicians don't like it. It doesn't matter that, giving people housing and food and the things they need to survive, doesn't sell well to the electorate. If you want to actually prevent crime, that's what you need to do. And so not doing that just because it doesn't sell well for the electorate doesn't make sense if you tell people that you're planning on reducing crime. So my plan is to reduce crime by actually doing what is going to work to reduce crime. Especially in the regions. Especially in the areas where youth crime is a problem. You invest in those areas, you lose those problems so quickly. So many of those problems disappear so quickly if you invest in those areas. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's like a disappearing trick. You take away the financial stress and all of the crime disappears. Whoa! Well, the crime that we prosecute anyway. There's obviously other crime that happens, like, for example, when corporations dump toxic waste places. But we don't prosecute those crimes. We don't waste taxpayer money prosecuting those crimes. We just get them to pay a fine. Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it? Isn't it a good idea? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Josie. For the Senate in WA. Rather than the House of Representatives, it'll be for the Senate. Definitely. So, I'm very excited. Absolutely very excited. I do, not going to lie, I do have to get started with the campaign because the campaign's going to happen. It's going to breeze by. So I'm going to log off in a bit to start. Well, log off. I'm going to go on to private-ish mode in half an hour to start phone banking for realsies. No, don't worry, Jazzy. If you're anywhere in WA, you'll be able to vote for me. Just don't stress. So you think it'll be a minority government this time? I hope so. I do hope so. Absolutely. I think it's leaning that way. It's leaning that way unless we have a huge snap back to Dutton, which, to be honest, I don't foresee happening based on what's been happening overseas. Dutton played it a little bit. He miscalculated a little bit, I think, trying to play the old, I can work with Trump, narrative when it's very clear no one can and no one should. So I don't foresee that being a problem, but that is the only other outcome I foresee. I don't foresee an Albanese-led Labor government keeping the majority. I could be very wrong. But I do foresee a minority government. Might be good to get some diversity of voices out there for sure. No, Jazzy. No, don't stress, honestly. I needed a solid month off just because I obviously was dealing with... yeah, good point, actually. Fingers crossed. As I said, always leaving plenty of room for me to be wrong. No, Jazzy, please don't. Like, you're not the only one to have, misspoken. It's honestly, it's not a big deal at all. I completely and totally forgot about it. I just, it has been a very emotional few months, obviously, for me, with lots of stuff going on. And I just sort of hibernated. I did hibernate for quite a while. So it's not just you. I've been missing completely. Ask everyone. I have been... But... I am going to go take some photos later. Because my hair is going to fall out. It's actually restarted a little bit. So, I wanted to get some nice photos before it all fell out. Completely. I know. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Lucky you're easy to love at a distance too. Oh, you guys are very, very sweet. You are very, very sweet. Yeah. Yeah, I'm currently still undergoing chemotherapy while also running for the Senate because I was asked to, and when someone asks you to, you kind of need to, don't you? You do have to kind of make that leap, step forward and answer the call when answered. Really, I just thought, fingers crossed. Here we go. Fingers crossed. If we can get enough, if we can even just put enough pressure on them to make them listen when we put forward policy that we want changed. For example, housing policy. If we could actually get, for example, they just come straight out and say that they specifically want housing prices to continue going up. And that's fair and rational and normal because, well, everyone wants housing prices to go up, surely. Like, no, not in this economy we don't. In this economy, it's obscene that housing prices keep going up as much as they are. Everybody's sitting around waiting for housing prices to come down a little bit. Important in this day and age where we can. Absolutely. Yeah, I miss you too. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a little bit ridiculous that we know the things that could help and we just have a government who is too scared to take action. And the thing is, if they're too scared to take action because they're worried of losing their majority, let them lose their majority, the independence, to marginalised voices, to smaller parties who are willing to stand up and say, no, we will fight for tax reform. I don't care if I'm the only person in the Senate saying that we need to completely rescind CGT, the capital gains tax loopholes. I don't care if I'm the only person saying in the Senate say it. I'm happy to be the only person to say it if it takes it, saying it constantly. Belly snapping. No worries. I'm happy to be the only person saying it constantly until my voice alone becomes a cacophony, until people start listening, until we can actually get some tax reform happening, because that's what we need in order to make the housing market fairer. Because what has put so much heat into the housing market and made prices, this is what I kept saying to people the other day. People are like, it's not just the capital gains tax loopholes, it's also fringe benefits tax. I'm like, fringe benefits tax, like, really hijacked the people who are buying houses for rental properties. Yeah, mom, pa investors buying for rental properties. Definitely. What fast-tracked people buying housing primarily as a speculative investment was the capital gains tax loopholes. That's what fast-tracked housing as a speculative investment, and that is what lit a fire underneath our housing market in Australia. So that is the first thing that needs to go. I'm not going to focus on any of the other ones. I just want to focus on the capital gains tax loopholes, which is purely the loopholes to get out of paying the profit, the tax on the profit that you make on selling a house. Those loopholes, that's all we need to get rid of, and we could house the entire country just from the money that we save on getting rid of those loopholes. And do you know what? The kind of things that would reduce, that would reduce the propensity towards criminality in our communities. That would reduce hunger in our communities. That would reduce, there are so many different issues that would reduce overstretched mental health care services in our communities. That would reduce trips to the hospital and to GPs offices in our communities. It would reduce instances of FDV in our communities. The amount of problems that would be solved simply by treating housing like the urgent problem that it is, dealing with one tax loophole that was put in the 90s to turn housing into a speculative investment, remove that one loophole and use the money that we make on it to fund housing for people who actually need it, and turn public housing back into the main form of rental in the market. If we turn public housing into the main form of rental properties in the market, that'll be enough to take the heat out of the rental property market, and getting rid of the capital gains discount tax, and it'll be enough to get rid of the heat out of the speculative property market, to get rid of that fast turnover, the churn and burn. That is all we need to do. And I'm just reading reports from different institutes. Like I've read report after report after report from different institutes about what we need to do in order to change the housing market for the better in this country. And that's just two. That's literally just two things that's just one thing that we could do. We don't even have to mess with any of the other taxes, and I'd be happy to just fight on that one alone. And it would solve so many different issues in our communities. And we know that already, but we just don't have anyone in government who's willing to say it, because it's not a popular thing to say. So I'll fucking say it. I don't think they're listening to the fact that we have more sugar, something's biting me. I don't think they're appreciating the fact that we have more younger people. I'm not even going to say the generations, because it's all fucking made up. But we have more younger people voting now than ever before. I feel like something just bit me. And these people are like looking like they're never going to be able to afford a house. And having in the papers, having our politicians say that they want housing prices to go ever upwards to that group of people is just baffling. It's just baffling. I'm getting bitten by something and I can't figure out what. Honestly, I don't know what it could be that has bitten me. I wish it would stop though. So, yeah, it wasn't you. Not yet. I'd commit so many crimes to vote for you more than once. Oh, that would be lovely. That would be lovely. But no, don't commit any crimes. Definitely not. Don't commit any crimes. There are plenty of legal things we can do. Oh, that hurts. Like whatever that was that just bit me, it tried to take a chunk out. Here we go. So yeah, so if anyone does want to help out with phone banking, I'm going to be signing off in about 15 minutes and I'm going to get started with it. So let me know. You can either message me or whatever. But yeah, basically we'll have a little bit of a spiel about basically why I'm running is because I do think regional communities have gotten forgotten, especially in the conversations about housing. So what's phone banking? Basically phone banking. We can start from the top. That's all good. We've got time. Phone banking, going back up. Phone banking is when we call people, but we help to grow a community by calling people. And these are people who have already expressed an interest in getting involved at some point in the past. Now, no, you're okay. I don't mean starting again just for you. That's all good. So these people, you'll have one of three outcomes. They'll be happy to get a call, but they're too busy to chat. Happy to get a call and happy to have a chat. Or don't want to have a call, don't call us again. Either way, if we're happy to have a call, don't have time to chat, you can say, no worries, but hope you will consider voting for Tamara Allardyce at the upcoming federal election. Not happy to have a call, say, well, that's all right. Well, feel free to have a look into Tamara Allardyce anyway. Have a good night. See ya. I mean, obviously test to see how they are. Like, you can get out of the call. There are tips on here on how to get out of the call if you don't feel like being cheeky is the way to do it. And then they'll be happy to have a chat. And those are people where you can talk about policy. You can talk about the kind of change that we want to see. We can talk about the fact that getting people in office who are more interested in listening to professionals and getting real policy through that's going to make a difference than playing these bloomin' party politics games is really the aim of the game. I keep seeing things like that I think are insects, and it's not. It's just crumbs of cookies because I've been eating and shoving my face constantly all afternoon. Anyway, just me. What's weird about where I am at the moment is a few things are Western Australia, but federal and state is Northern Territory. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you're on the islands, aren't you? Yeah, so it is. That is very odd. It is very odd there. Yep, Christmas Island. Yeah, that's where my brother and sister-in-law used to live. So I do remember that. Oh, itchy. I have to moisturize my skin again. That's okay. All right. So, basically the list of people, as I said, are people who have already kind of said that they wanted to have a call in the past or have been called and contacted in the past. So they're not the kind of people who are being cold called out of nowhere. So you're not really going to get a whole lot of people being, rude or surprised even at a call. But also, about a third of the people you call are going to answer. 2/3 won't even answer. So you're calling a list of nice people and most of them won't answer anyway. You can expect to spend between 1 to 5 minutes on those people who do pick up and answer. So if you spend about 15 minutes phone banking, then you'll make about 5 calls generally. So if you say, yeah, I can sign up to do half an hour of phone banking every night, then that will be 10 calls each per night, basically we can make. And yeah, and that's plenty when you think of there's like 3 or 4 of us. That's like, we can contact 40, 50 people per night. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's not too bad. So yeah, could be worse. Then basically when you're finished with your call list, we come back into the room together and we have a little bit of a debrief and we discuss how things went. And we can do that several times throughout. So we can have like 5-minute, we can have 10-minute intervals. We could, if you want to do like an hour-long phone bank, we could break every 15 minutes to see how people were going, that kind of thing. Because it can be intimidating to make phone calls. So we realize that. So you constantly need to just go at your own page. Is it Senate state by state? Yes, Senate is state by state, but you can phone bank from anywhere in the country. So regardless of where you are, you can still call people in Western Australia to talk to them about how wonderful I am. Just saying, that's an option regardless of where you are. So, now let's have a quick look quickly for advice on how to exit a call if need be. As I said, I don't foresee you really needing to use this all that often. Generally, people, even if they're like, oh, no, like I don't vote for politicians, I don't talk to people, I'm not interested, any of that bullshit, they're generally not going to be rude to you. They're generally pretty nice to people who are volunteering because they understand that you're just giving of your time for a cause that you believe in and there's no reason for you to, you might get the odd one though. So it is still good to have a few tips and tricks under your sleeve for how to handle and just exit yourself from those situations. So we'll go through the sample call diagram again in a second. But here are some general frequently asked questions that you might be asked. No, wait, skip down further. How to gracefully exit from a conversation. So If you need a simple line to gracefully close the call, you can try saying, thank you so much for your time. Have a good day. You could also, if the person's not really allowing you for a gap, for you to try ending the call, try saying, excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I do have to go now. Thank them for their time and then end the conversation. Remember to respect your own time and emotional boundaries as well. Some people can get quite lonely, and when someone calls up to have a chat, they can take advantage of that and want to have a good gossip. But yeah, you can just say politely, thanks, but no thanks. Now, if you feel that the other person has acted inappropriately at all, then make a note on the file in Nation Builder on the list, the access that you're given to the lists, so that your campaign organizer or membership officer can deal with it. Let them know as soon as possible, so that it can be dealt with, because we don't want people like that being stumbled upon by others when they sign up to help as well. Now, sometimes if you leave a message, then people will call you back later, and it can be really confusing if you don't have access to someone's profile on Nation Builder. So to help you prepare for that, please always remember to leave a brief message for people that you contact to explain that you are calling from Fusion and why you're calling. That way that when, when they let you know, then they can let you know why they called you back. Hi, I listened to your message. You said you were calling from Fusion. Note any call outcomes if you can. That would be great. And then log into their profile on the campaign builder and put any notes in about the callback that you got. So yeah, if you do get if you do get any callbacks later, it can be confusing, but that's why it's always a good idea to leave a message. So going through the call list about the message, how the phone call goes. You ring someone up. Either there'll be an answer or there'll be no answer. If there is no answer, you can simply leave a message and end the call. Your message can say something along the lines of, hi, my name is Dee Dee. I'm calling on behalf of Tamara Allardyce, running for a Senate position for the Fusion Party. If you would like to get involved in the campaign at all or find out more about Tamara's campaign, feel free to give me a call back. Thank you so much for your time. Leave a message. Done. Dusted. Moving on. That's probably the most often call you're going to get. It's just making sure that you have your name in there, my name in there, and the party's name in there, so that they know where you're calling from, just to alleviate any confusion. If they do answer, then you can go to this next one. Can I talk to you about Tamara Allardyce's election campaign for the upcoming federal election? Either they'll be happy to talk, and you can ask them if they want to volunteer, if they want to help out at all. You can then, they also say, do you want to donate? I always say help, but help vote. They say help donate vote, which is that's actually a pretty good. Do you want to sign up to volunteer? Would you be willing to donate to the campaign? Would you consider voting for Tamara on May 3rd? So they're the three asks that you can kind of do if you feel like people are responsive. If you feel like people aren't responsive, because sometimes you get people who are happy to chat, but they're happy to chat because they want to complain. Oh, these people are only ever calling because they're calling for a handout. Well, we're really just calling to see if you've got some time to give us on election day to hand out how to vote cards. That's a huge help. That can be a massive help on election day to get people voting if you're able to. That would be great. Things like that. So, yeah, basically. Anyway, so going down to some frequently asked questions that you might be asked. How do I meet up or chat with other Fusion members? Well, there's some links there. There's a link there for the Discord, which I will actually copy and put down here for anyone who wants to join up. I'll pop that in here and I'll pop it in here. So that there is, oh, no, that's not the copy. That's not what I was supposed to copy. I don't know why that didn't copy. That was really annoying. I was supposed to be copying the Discord. Here we go. Try again, shall I? Thanks for joining, Britt. Here we go. So there's the Discord, so you can join. And there's also some really good how-to guides and stuff in there as well. And I'm going to pop it in here as well. See how that one works. Perfect. Okay. Now I have an idea for a policy that Fusion could campaign for. Would Fusion be interested in that? That sounds interesting. I'll pass it on to my campaign manager and other interests. So this is if people, questions people have for you on the thing. definitely applies to you guys as well. Like if there are any campaign or anything that you want to talk about, that's like I do say it every time I come on here, but I also feel like I need to just say it aloud. Not just aloud. What's the other? Whoop, hang on, let me fix this. I feel like I also just need to restate it. I need to reiterate it. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Here we are. That's better. All right. So yeah, so feel free, as I said, to join the party on Discord. To interact. Feel free to join the party on Discord in the link there. All right. Now, I have a general idea of something Fusion can do. Well, we hold regular meetings for all members and supporters on the last Wednesday of the month. Here's the link. And they specifically discuss ideas. I'll get you an invite with a Zoom link. So there you go. How can I donate to Fusion? Here's the donate page. So there you go. So all of the Q&As are just there, which makes it nice and easy to answer. So I would keep this handy as well while phone banking, and I'll make sure that these are sort of all handy while phone banking. So that is, I know I've only been on here for 40 minutes today, but that is because today I was mainly only coming on here to talk about phone banking because that is what I'm going to be doing in the evenings. So I'm going to come on live and I'm going to do a live stream for about 45 minutes to an hour in the evenings talking about different policy and things and seeing if anybody does want to sign up to help out with the phone banking. And then I'm going to be signing off to actually go and do some phone banking. So, and I will be, as I said, I'll be active in the Discord, in my Discord as well. If you want to join me in there, if you want to come and join us and do some phone banking. I'm convinced there's a bug or something in my, hey Kevin, I'm convinced there's a bug or something in my pants right now. I know that's just, gosh almighty. Alrighty. I think it stopped. I think it's stopped biting me. Fabulous. Excellent. All right. So thank you guys so much. I've only been on here for 45 minutes, I know, today, and I'm really sorry. I will be trying to get on here a bit earlier tomorrow so we can have a little bit of a longer live stream before I do have to jump off to go phone banking. I'm hoping that tomorrow, thank you. Tomorrow I'm definitely going to start earlier in the day, for sure. And yeah, we're going to start phone banking sort of, please take care of yourself first, yeah. I have eaten so much and now I'm feeling so tired. I might even have to just go and have a nap. But I don't want to just go and have a nap. I do want to go and do some phone banking. I do need to get this campaign on the road, even if I can only get a couple percentage of vote, you know, something to show them that these policies, that actual purpose-led policies that are led by experts who know what they're talking about, who are interested in making real change in the field and not just scoring political points. You know, we're not talking about doing this because it wins political points. We're talking about doing this because it's going to actually solve the housing crisis. We're doing it because it's actually going to help solve a lot of the issues with criminality in our regional locations. We're doing this because it's actually going to help with climate change issues. These are the sorts of things that we need to be focusing on rather than point scoring, warmongering nonsense. And especially because we know that things are not stable on the international stage. People know that. People can see that. And we need more. We need a hell of a lot more stability at home than what we have. And we deserve to have that stability as well. We absolutely deserve to have that stability. And that stability doesn't come from having a government who tells us that they're going to keep housing prices going up exponentially. It comes from having a population who are housed and who are able to feed themselves, and who are able to take care of each other, and who are able to chip in when things go really bad. You know, it's never the government who steps in when things go really bad in the community. You know, remember when COVID got really bad, who was delivering meals for our elderly in the communities? Who was making sure that, like, I was amongst the people making masks for the community to hand out to people because we had mask shortages and things. You know, it's the community who always comes through for each other. And we need to remember that. We need to remember that so many of the solutions that we have, that we need, are already exist within our communities. So there is absolutely no reason to not listen to the experts and to the ideas. Yeah, the government absolutely profit from us being homeless. Absolutely they do. They profit off us suffering. They profit off us being stressed. And this is part of the reason why I think smaller parties and minor politicians are going to get in more and more so, because it is absolutely ridiculous. You can't. The property developers can't afford to bribe every single minor politician and every single minor party representative. So they can't get us all into their back pocket. So we're much more likely to promote policy that is better for our communities because we live in those communities as well. That's a very good stump speech. Well, I thank you so much, Kevin. Please vote for me. But we live amongst these communities as well. We dwell amongst these communities. So we know the people who are struggling with homelessness and who are struggling to pay their bills. You know, that's the difference. I'm good. Sorry. Have you heard of Senate voting? Do you care about the housing crisis, regional issues, and wishing to support simply by selecting the right people on election day? Vote Tamara of the Fusion Party. Spoken to Juzzy Wuzzy Fuzzy. Hey, Juzzy, that's a really good summary. I like that. I absolutely do like that one. And absolutely. And because, again, the mining conglomerates, it's an open joke that the Woodside Mining Corporation is actually the West Australian government. It's an open joke because of how much they basically control the Western Australian government. We have so many of the interests of corporations and conglomerates are being made in their interest rather than our interests because our government are bought and paid for. And exactly, if we have smaller parties, minor parties and independents, they cannot buy us all. They absolutely cannot. So we've got a much better chance of advocating for that policy that is actually going to be... That is going to be amazing. Thank you so much, Juzzy. I like that one. So if you do want to help out at all, as I said, my DMs are open. Feel free to message me if you want to help out on the campaign. Feel free to join the Discord, which is on my links on my link tree. If you want to join the Discord, feel free. If you want to help out with phone banking, please let me know. I'm going to be phone banking starting from tonight. I'm just going to go for a bit my evening walk, and then I'm going to start phone banking. So I will send out an alert when we're doing that. I need to go for my evening walk, just unfortunately, otherwise I won't be able to sleep. And then after all of that, I'm going to come back. We're going to do some phone banking. And that's it. And then, and then we'll do some more. We'll do some more of this tomorrow. How's that sound? We'll do some more later. Sound good? And if you can think of anything, if you can think of any policies that you want to talk about, if you've got any issues that you want to talk about, if you've got anything at all that you've got any frequently asked questions that you want asked, then absolutely. And Lily, I know that you don't feel comfortable necessarily getting on the phones, but we will absolutely have you in the chat to help with any frequently asked questions and to help pep talk anybody who comes off the phones and needs a little bit of a pep talk. You can be there as, cheerleader. Emotional support. You can be emotional support in the in the wings for people. Always here for something. And there is always something, whatever your comfort level, whatever level that you have that you're able to engage, whatever you're able to give, there is always a space for you within this movement. So anything, if you're at all keen to help out, we would love to have you. I'm going to sign off now so that I can go for my evening walk because I have cancer and that's just what I need to do. Yeah. Love you guys so much. I'll go live again a little bit later when I'm about to go, whatever. So have your notifications on. Turn on those notifications so you know when I'm going live. All right, let's go for our walk and then we'll do some more phone banking.